In this Hogwarts Legacy review, I'm going to be talking about my review impressions from the game. I've played about 30 hours or so far. I am not even close to being done with this game. Just want to disclaim that here, but I am far enough that I did feel like I could give my impressions on the game, what I like about it so far, what I don't like about it, so strap in for that. Before I get into my impressions, though, I want to quickly note that we've tried to keep this video as spoiler-free as possible. I know this is a game that you go in blind and just want to experience the game for yourself. So the footage that we're showing is kept to like the first hour or two of the game, probably gameplay footage you've already seen if you've seen pre-release, videos. So it's not going to be anything crazy, nothing. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I am not that person. So feel free to watch the video with very mild spoilers from the very beginning of the game. Nothing story related obviously would be included, but just gameplay. And if you don't want any spoilers at all, you can just, listen to me and not watch the screen. So the first thing I want to talk about in this game is the immersion. This is something we've been talking about for the weeks leading up to the launch of the game. It's the thing that's drawn me to the game. It's the thing that's drawn a lot of people to this game, non-gamers included, because they wanted to experience the world of Hogwarts, of Harry Potter, of the wizarding world for themselves in a way they haven't been able to yet before, because this is really the first game that's tackled this on such a scale. And let me tell you, they absolutely nailed this aspect. From the way that your dorm feels in Hogwarts Castle to your common room, to the corridors bustling with students and details and puzzles everywhere, to the moving staircases and everything that you will find in Hogwarts Castle when you first begin this game, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Like, you will never see Hogwarts Castle realized in a way quite like it's been in this game, and I think players, it gives me goosebumps just even talking about it right now. I think players are just going to be absolutely mesmerized by it, and it's one of those things where you don't want to rush through it. You just want to take your time and play it and experience it and take it all in like you're watching a good movie that you don't want to end. And beyond that, this continues to extend into Hogsmeade, which has this cozy feeling to it. It reminds you of the movies and the books, and you're going to love it. Like, you'll absolutely love it if you're a Harry Potter fan. You'll love the way they've done this. But the thing that really got me is not something that I expected, which was that this sense of feeling extends throughout the entire game that I've played so far. It's not just Hogwarts Castle and Hogsmeade dropped in a big open world, and they've used that to lure you in to play an open world game. And those are the parts that you like if you're Harry Potter, and you won't like anything else. Literally everything about the game world feels like it belongs in the wizarding world, from the way the puzzles are designed on the landscape, to the way you cast spells, to the way you interact with your teachers and other students in the game. It all feels like it belongs. Considering that this is a first game from Portkey Studios, it's absolutely impressive. I cannot think of a stronger word. It's so impressive what they have managed to accomplish. It actually is an inspiration to the gaming industry on what a studio can do if they really put their mind to it. And this brings me to my next point, which is the size of this game. This game is really interesting because when you start playing and you're exploring Hogwarts Castle and you're exploring Hogsmeade, you sort of get a sense for the size of the game. Like, you get a sense for oh, okay, I feel like it's going to be, this size of a game. And then once you really get out into the world and start exploring, and you get your broom and you can fly around on the landscape, you start to realize that the game is much, much, much larger than you expected. Elden Ring blew me away for its game size. I had no way of knowing it was going to be that large, and this game is not as large as that by any means. However, it is a very, very substantial game, and just based on my percentages, completion percentages from where I'm at about 30 hours into the game, I'd say you could get anywhere from 70 to 100 hours out of this game if you tried to do everything in the game. That's a rough estimate. Depends on what difficulty you're playing on, how fast you go, whether you just take time and wander around. But I think it's probably in that ballpark. And that's insane. I did not expect that from this game. And the other thing is, the quality of that 70 to 100 hours so far has been very good. I've really enjoyed doing the activities that they've placed in the game. There is a lot of the same activity over and over. I'm not going to say they didn't do that because this is a huge open world game, and that's pretty common in those types of games. But I have enjoyed doing it so far. That said, I do wonder over the course of, 70 or 100 hours, double the time I'm in the game now, if I will still feel that way. A lot of the activities are very samey, copy-pasted a lot. And I think what's kept them interesting is the feel of the world and my character and how I've approached playing the game. It's more casual and stuff like that. But if you're like the completionist and you're trying to get everything, I think at some point there's probably a good chance it'll start to feel a little bit repetitive. Like, not super, but you might be like, ugh, I just want to get through this so I can get done with all of these. And I think one of the reasons for that, in my opinion, and this is kind of maybe my biggest negative with Hogwarts Legacy, is that the itemization of the game is extremely poor. The gear you find is almost completely irrelevant. There's almost no stats for your character in this game. And by the time you can get some of the cooler customization for your character, you've done a lot of the activities in the game. And it just doesn't feel like the reward that you get from doing the activities justifies you going to do all the activities. Like, at some point, I don't know how far into the game, maybe 15 to 20 hours into the game, I stopped looking at everything I was picking up. When I first started, I was like, oh, what did I get? Oh, what did I get in this chest or that chest, whatever, in this room or that room. But about 20 hours in, I'd stopped looking. I don't even care anymore. If it's not a legendary item, I just keep moving on. And even then, it's like I'll equip it when I get around to it, because it just doesn't really matter. And I feel like that's unfortunate, because good itemization drives exploration and, staves off that tedium that doing the same sort of activity over and over can bring about. And I feel like if they had had a better itemization system in this game, then the exploration would be some of the best I've seen. But because the itemization is so poor, it kind of takes it down just a little bit. Now, itemization is not the only driving factor. A lot of people aren't going to be playing this game for the loot. I like loot. It's not like that's the only reason I'm playing. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan as well. And I think there's enough other things to propel you forward in this game, including the story and the sense of wonder you get from exploring. But it would have been nice to just to have a little bit more, itemization in there to kind of complete the whole package. Talking a bit about the performance of the game, I played on PS5 on performance mode. This is 60 FPS. I had I want to say 3 frame drops in 30 hours so far. The rest of the time it was buttery smooth, which is really great. I tried playing on fidelity mode. This is about 30 FPS. The game obviously looks better from a visual perspective, but it's not as smooth, and it does drop below 30 FPS at some points. So I don't think too many people playing on console are going to use fidelity mode. It's nice for screenshots if you want to get a really good screenshot. But other than that, I don't think you'd want to play consistently at that, dropping below 30 here and there. I think that would really pull you out of the immersion of the game. And honestly, even though the graphics are not the best that I've seen for an open world game, games like The Witcher are better, or, Cyberpunk has better graphics, stuff like that, they're still pretty good, and they're good enough to convey the sense of the world. And also, the Wizarding World is kind of whimsical by nature, so it doesn't have to have a truly realistic feel. So I feel like the art style that they chose for this game is very fitting anyway. The load times on the game are just a couple seconds on PS5, which is fantastic. And I don't know if you know this, but there's hardly any load times in this game. You load when you fast travel, and there's maybe a couple specific locations that you load into. But other than that, when you're exploring Hogwarts Castle and stuff, there's no load screens. Sometimes when you go to open a door, it'll swirl while it's loading what's behind it, but you don't actually have a load screen. So there's not too many load screens in this game. It's pretty seamless, which I think is fantastic. I did have a few bugs on PlayStation 5, mostly getting stuck in the landscape, which happens in open world games. And a couple where I was doing a quest and something was supposed to happen in the quest and it didn't, and I couldn't progress. So then I just reload. The game autosaves every 2 seconds, it seems like. So I just reloaded the previous autosave, and then it fixed itself each time. I never got stuck for more than a second or two. So there's some mild bugs, but nothing really major. I mean, we're talking about maybe 4 or 5 bugs in 30 hours of that quality. No crashes, nothing like that. So it plays really, really well on PS5. Now, I don't know how the game plays on PC. I'm definitely going to be looking around at reviews for people who played this on PC, or from users talking about their PC experience. This is something I'm concerned about. I haven't seen too much PC gameplay, or really any PC gameplay. I don't know if Denuvo is going to affect PC performance or not, or how it's going to play on PC. So if you're looking for PC performance, you'll have to look around and see what you can find. I just frankly don't know how it plays on PC. And the last thing I want to bring to your attention before I get to my final thoughts of this game is the in-game store. This is something we had absolutely no visibility to during the pre-release period. It's just not live. I don't know if it was intentionally not live or they're still working on setting it up. But I don't know what's in the in-game store. I don't know how many microtransactions there are, what you can buy, what you can spend your money on, or how much it costs. So if you're someone who doesn't like microtransactions and that's a big deal for you, you might have to wait to see when the game is out to see how that is. I would imagine if it's bad, the game's going to get knocked for that, but I don't know how bad it is or how good it is. So I have no way of knowing. But I will say that having played through the game so far, the 30 hours I played, I never felt like I once needed to buy anything from any in-game store. If very much feels like a game that doesn't need a store at all. So don't think that you're going to have to buy things from the store. So this kind of brings me to my final thoughts for the game. Fex and I both played this game over the pre-release period. She is not a Harry Potter fan at all. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and we both really enjoyed this game. I don't think you have to be a Harry Potter fan to enjoy this game. Fex is a very skeptical person in general, and the fact that she went into this very skeptical and thought that, you know, the Harry Potter aspect was going to be what compelled people to buy it only, the fact that she's enjoying the game and she's not a Harry Potter fan is amazing, and she really enjoys it. She feels like they did a really fantastic job, and I myself, a Harry Potter fan or a Hogwarts fan, whatever you want to call it at this point, am blown away. If you are a Harry Potter fan, this game is a slam dunk. It is the closest thing that I think you will ever see to a perfect Harry Potter game. I mean, not Harry Potter, but in the wizarding world. It's the closest thing I think you will ever see. I'm not sure they could do a better job except maybe slightly on the itemization and customization of your character. That's it. Like, I have almost no other complaints. I cannot think of anything at this point other than maybe better graphics, which is a very, very tiny complaint that I have for this game. They absolutely hit it out of the park. And if you're not a Harry Potter fan or a Hogwarts fan and you're looking for a good open world game, I think this game will scratch the itch. It's not as hardcore as something like The Witcher or Elden Ring or Skyrim or something like that, so don't go in there thinking that. But if you're just looking for like a lot of lighthearted fun and exploration and a good time, I think this game would fit the bill even for you. But I want to hear from you guys that are playing early access or have started playing the game in the 72-hour early period on, you know, PlayStation or PC or whatever. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you guys think so far. What do you think from watching the game? Are you excited, even more excited to play this? Let me know in the comments below.